Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, is it cold out here? Just look at that steam coming off my coffee there. It is cold. So normally I'm out there with my shorts and little t-shirt and what. And today, man, I'm in my jeans and I got a sweater on, and I think winter's here, and there's all kinds of frost here on my grass. And by the way, the reason I'm standing out here, guys, is I've had a few comments, and one person particularly, so this is for you, Fran, who basically is saying, that background looks fake. You don't live out there, kind of thing. I'm like, well, if I don't live out here, I don't know who's weeding this garden. So anyway, I thought, well, I'll tell you what you do. I'll walk back to my tree line. It's still back there about 10, 12 feet. May look a little closer, but it's about that distance. And I'll walk up to, the house and go sit down and whatever. And just to show, I thought, oh, well, hey, that's an easy one to solve, right? Anyway, well, you guys, you're always talking about that pool, right? Well, back over here, there it is. The guy's building it back in there. And boy, I'm telling you what noise. I imagine they'll be out later this morning as well. But needless to say, guys, I have been reading a few articles, and one of them had to do with the EU, basically saying, hey, look, we've got to possibly get some legislation out there to ban the whole crypto mining thing with any kind of an energy crisis that will come down the pike. Now, obviously, this is affecting proof of work. And of course, who's the biggest consumer of proof of work energy? Bitcoin. Now, does that mean they're going to ban Bitcoin? No, I don't think they're going to ban Bitcoin. But I do definitely believe that they are going to attack the mechanisms for it. And so you're talking about proof of work and whatever there. Here, let me just back into my chair here. We're an open book pretty much, Judy and I, but some things have to be private. And of course, she's saying, hey, look, we don't want them to show them the whole house, blah, 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 blah. And the reason for that is on the backside of my house here, it's like a wall of glass. You can literally look right inside of it, and so if I turned around and showed you, it's like, it's like, for her, I think it's like showing your underwear drawer or something. And she just wants to keep that private, and I'll respect her with that for sure. But in any case, getting on there. So with the whole Bitcoin thing, Bitcoin's the biggest proof of work, but there are other proof of work ones out there, obviously. And, this is the big push when it comes to the energy consumption. Now, I know Bitcoin maxis get out there and say, well, when you consider and compare it to this and this, and yes, they're right. In fact, I think that is a good argument that they present. But unfortunately, arguments really don't matter. I mean, look at what's going on in Holland there with the government, trying to push eminent domain to take over farms so they can reduce, greenhouse gases from, the excrement of animals and stuff. It's just nonsense. But hey, nonetheless, they're looking at the energy consumption of proof of work, and they're looking at how they can shut this thing down, minimize it, or tax the living dickens out of it one way or another. Now, having said that, second article I was reading here has to do with The Guardian and the paper in the UK. The Guardian has some kind of secret scripts that they put together, and they've already done this in preparation to major blackouts in the UK. And so we're talking Scotland, Wales, England, what. And I guess Northern Ireland's not really affected because they get their energy apparently from the Republic of Ireland. So, hey, hopefully that's one to keep them close together, because we love that. My son spent a lot of time in Ireland. Beautiful place. Anyway, you have got to frickin' be kidding me that, that some government people have went and talked to the executive leadership over there at the government and said, hey, we need some help over here to craft the narrative because, it's going to be bad and we don't want all of our citizens, coming banging on our door. The reality is, guys, these politicians for years, probably decades, have really made some stupid decisions when it's come to the infrastructure of the UK. And namely, guys, look at all those shelters and stuff like that from World War II that could have been held, at least some of them held in reserve and maintained in the event of any kind of a threat. especially when you consider the lesson they learned there. They literally, guys, sent so many of their little kids over to Canada to get them out from underneath the possibility of, danger during World War II because the country was getting blitzed. Well, you'd think a lesson like that would have changed the society's viewpoint with the whole idea, never again, right? And they would have had that in place. But no, they sold those to private people and stuff like that. So now the country is so ill prepared, according to some of their top military people, that it has really put them in a bad, vulnerable state. And now you're seeing that it's also coming out in their power grids and stuff like that. It's just too much. And I really do believe that people need to rise up and hold some of these politicians accountable for some of these foolish decisions that have been made that have really put the country in jeopardy. At least that's how I think. Now, I'm not talking about, and it's either side of the aisle, guys. It really doesn't make a difference which side of the aisle they're on. But if they're making decisions like that without having some sort of referendums in the public that really affect the public big time, we're not just talking about monetary policy here. It is a big deal. Infrastructure is a big deal. And that's where I believe, look, we're paying these tax dollars, and the government's like, you got to pay your fair share. Okay, well, we need roads, we need lights, we need infrastructure. That's why we pay the tax dollars, not just so you can vote yourself in another raise on your pay. I mean, it's getting bad. Now, I also heard, Judy was telling me, my wife, that there is some sort of referendum going on with respect to recalling Liz Truss. Now, I don't know how much validity there is to that. And I really don't know what she stands, like what her political platform is. But I will say this, there needs to be a little bit of a waking up for all these politicians to realize, hey, look, this isn't us just giving you a job so that you can have all kinds of influence over, all these different things and pat your own backs and just, benefit all the cronies and all that. You're out there to represent us as citizens in a Westminster system. And you're there to ensure that, this country functions in a way that benefits the people, not the politicians. But, we've gotten so far from that, guys, that it's just almost unfathomable. And yeah, that's one of my pet peeves is just the whole arrogance of some of these people. They almost believe that it was their destiny to be this and that, they're owed it. The entitlement is really bad, really, really bad. So anyway, I will look into a little more to see whether or not that referendum is a fact. And if you know that it is and you're watching, hey, put that down in the comments there. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a very, very rough winter for Europe. And my heart genuinely goes out to you guys. And by the way, for the rest of us over here in the United States and Canada, don't think that we're not going to feel some pinches as well. You better believe it, because I think what's happening is they're shipping over our natural gas to Europe, and they're doing it, guys, for this reason, because the demand is so high that the price in Europe for the natural gas is off the rails. So they're not doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. They're doing it because, hey, there's a big payday if they haul it over there rather than sell it domestically here. So you're going to watch and see that supply and demand on this side of the pond is also going to be, up there as well. At least that's my opinion, but I guess we'll see. Now, I want to say something else about the whole Bitcoin thing. Look, I have really held to that we have hit our bottom when we hit 17.5 in June. And I know that there's folks out there that think, hey, we could go way, way lower, like 10, 14, 12, whatever. Now, the reason I hold that view is not just some kind of a hunch or a feeling. It's really based on a lot of technical indicators and things like that. And so if we lose that structure, it would be extremely bad. It's not just a dip down. No, it would be extremely bad. Now, having said that, should some kind of a black swan event take place, like we're dragged into World War III or something like that, or something like happened when the sea dump happened, then all bets are off, and you better believe, yeah, it could drop in hard. But if it's just about regular market structure, then guys, I think we've already hit our bottom. Now, that's just my opinion, and I accept that not everyone needs to hold the same opinion as I do. That's the whole beauty of being free, right? Anyway, well, guys, I've got some great videos coming out for the rest of the week, and I hope you have a great day. And until later on this afternoon when we release our a great video. Have a good one and take care.